I'm going to show you how to build out your very own HR system completely from scratch without writing a single line of code. I'm definitely not a developer and I'm not a technical person. What I want to show you today is how easy it is to actually build these systems so you can start making HR work for you. In this step-by-step tutorial, we're going to use a number of different tools like Lovable.dev, Cursor AI, Supabase, and Claude. Don't worry if you've never heard of any of those tools. We're going to go through it in this video. Let's dive in. Okay, so I am now in Claude Sonnet 4. This is a free plan. What my prompt says in Claude is I'm building a free simplified HR system that is very similar to BambooHR to prove that anyone can design and launch their own platform using no-code, low-code tools. Just to rewind slightly, BambooHR is a awesome HR system that is used globally for small businesses to large businesses. So I've asked it to generate a prompt for me that I can use when using Supabase and Bolt or Lovable.dev. Bolt is also another no-code AI web development tool, which is also really good. I just prefer using Lovable.dev. It's just a preference of mine. Supabase is the back end that we'll be using. So Lovable.dev integrates really well with Supabase, and you'll need to use Supabase because you want to store all of your employee data, information, your passwords to access the system, etc. in a database. So you can see here that Claude has provided us with a comprehensive prompt to provide Lovable with. Let's just scan those core features. So there's the employee directory, great, leave request system, onboarding checklist, and admin dashboard. Now, for the purpose of this tutorial, I've decided not to include some of the features that you might ordinarily see in a HR system, such as performance reviews or payroll management, because otherwise it is going to be a 7-hour-long tutorial and we don't want that. Now, what I've also noticed when scanning through this prompt is that it didn't actually include any authentication for security purposes, and you'll appreciate when you are building a HR system that security is essential. So we need to include that to make sure that employees, managers, HR can log in. Okay, so it updated the prompt, you can see here, and it's provided these major security enhancements. And we also wanted to make sure that only the employee who owns their own employee profile is the only person that can amend it. And the same goes for HR managers and HR admin, that they are the only people that are able to make amendments to the data in the HR system. Let's copy this prompt and then jump over into Lovable.dev. All right, we are now in Lovable. I love Lovable. Excuse the pun. I already have an account, but you will get a free plan when you first sign up. All we do now is we copy and paste our prompt that we created in Claude into this little chat box here, and then click on the arrow, and Lovable is going to start spinning up this preview, which is really exciting. And if you just see here, Lovable pulled that prompt in. Everything that you want Lovable to do when building out this system, you communicate with it here, and then it is going to do everything you ask it to. Actually, tell a lie. That isn't true, because quite often you can ask it to do something and it doesn't always do it, which can be a little bit frustrating, but this is just where we're at with AI at the moment. Or what it has a habit of doing is saying, if something's broken and it needs to be fixed, it has a habit of saying to you that it has been successfully fixed when it actually hasn't, and you'll come across that in your builds. So if this happens to you, don't worry at all. It is really common. This is going to take a little bit of time, but let's wait and see. I am so excited to see what it comes up with. It just always just blows me away. And there we have it, our simple HR dashboard. It's got number of employees, it's got the pending leave requests, it's got active onboarding, it's got completion rate, you've got upcoming leave here in the bottom right hand corner, you've got recent activity, you can go over to employees. Amazing. Okay, let's type in Sarah. Let's see. Yep, that search functionality works. You've got all their employee profiles. Click on departments, all the different departments. It's pulled in locations. It's got all the different states in America. You can, of course, change that by re-prompting. We can click onto leave requests here. You can see the amount pending, what's been approved this month, total days even requested, and it lists all the different leave requests. Then we've got onboarding, saying what's on track. I want to click on that. Okay, that's fine. That's not working yet. And what you'll find out is as we're going throughout this build, you have to try and test everything on the dashboard and then keep going back to the chat to say, hey, I've noticed that this isn't working yet, can we fix this? Or if you notice that there are things that need to be added to the dashboard, then you just prompt it to do that. Now, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm literally just going to add it in the chat in the left-hand corner with my own simple language, so you can just see how easy it is just to do it in that straightforward manner. But I tend to find that I get a lot more success when I ask ChatGPT to prompt, and not only that, it generally gets stuff done much more quickly when you're on the free plan. So if you decide to sign up for Lovable, you'll find that the free plan will only get you so far. I'm currently on a paid plan, so we're not going to get cut off during this tutorial, but I'm only going to do a few prompts right now in this video so you can see what you'll have to do after that, so you don't have to pay for a paid plan. And we're going to move things over to Cursor AI, but we'll go through that a little bit later in the video. All right, so I'm scrolling down. It says, I'm excited to help you build simple HR. It said for this version, I'll focus on clean professional dashboard, etc. Brilliant. What's next? Refine, customize, master prompting. And then it's going to say connect to Supabase. Now, what is interesting is you've got this little error that's come up to say build unsuccessful. Not sure why that is, but throughout the build, you're going to come across that. As a non-technical person, this is great because if there's any issues with the code, you can literally just click on try to fix and it's going to do it for you. But just remember that more often than not, it doesn't always fix, and you're just going to have to keep saying try to fix. Now it's looking, as you can see, at the errors, and it is doing what it needs to do to fix the problem. Something to do with the user's icon and React that was causing the TypeScript error. Okay, all right, so according to Lovable, that's actually fixed now. So what I am seeing that we're missing here is that if we actually click on the card, it's not taking us to a specific profile, nor does it have a little button on that card that says edit the profile, which I'm used to seeing when I've built other HR platforms using Lovable. So it's quite interesting that every time you use Lovable, it's actually a different experience. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let Lovable know that I want to be able to click inside the profile. So I'm going to say, please can you amend the employee cards so that it takes us to the actual profile. Please also ensure that I have the ability, and so does the employee, etc., to make any amendments required to the profile. I'm a little bit gutted that actually it didn't work as well as it normally does for the purpose of this tutorial, but it's kind of good that you can see this build on the fly. So when you build it yourself, you aren't going to have any surprises. Okay, so it's going to create an employee profile page with editing capabilities that both admins and employees can access. Let me implement the profile functionality and update the employee cards. Okay, so that is going to update. In the meantime, while we're doing that, let's just see if these other features work. So if I approve, deny, okay, so that doesn't work either. So again, we're gonna have to go back to Lovable.dev and we're gonna have to ask it to make those changes. Let's click on new request. Yep, we can do that. Say Mike Davis, select leave, sick leave. Let's say 27th to the 28th. Okay, great, it's automatically calculated that. All right, submit request. Okay, so that worked. Leave request submitted successfully, but I don't know if this changed here. And obviously we can't go onto Mike's profile to see if that leave request was approved. So let's just wait firstly for Lovable to finish its fix with regard to these cards, and you can see it's now reloading the page. Successfully implemented the employee profile functionality with clickable employee cards, etc. Let's click on Mike. Great, we can now see his profile things. Yeah, okay, we've got the manager there as well, department, location, phone number. Brilliant. Okay, that's good. Let's see if we can edit it. So let's just say he's changed his last name by default to Smith. Let's say save changes. All right, so that didn't work, not on that page. So that's something else that we're gonna have to change. I'm not gonna go through that in this tutorial right now, but I wanted to show you enough so you can do this yourself. But I do want to see if we can fix this leave request feature. So I'm gonna say in the leave requests page, the approve and deny buttons don't work, nor do they update the cards in the dashboard. I also want to ensure that the employee has a section on their profile that states the requests they have made and if they have been approved. And it would also be helpful if you added some cards to their profile with the amount of holidays taken, etc. Okay, let's see how it goes with that. It's a few things for it to do, so that might take a little bit of time. Let's go to dashboard again. All right, so that's not updated. Okay, so it's saying I'll implement the functionality for approve, deny buttons on the leave request page, add a leave request section to employee profiles with holiday statistics cards. Okay, let's wait to see what happens. All right, so it says, perfect, I've implemented the complete leave request functionality you requested. It's added functional approve, deny buttons, dashboard cards update, employee leave section, real-time updates, technical implementation. Okay, let's just see if this worked. So we're on the leave requests page. Let's just press approve. Okay, so that was Sarah Johnson. I want to go over to Sarah Johnson's profile. Haha, beautiful. Okay, here she had her pending holiday to Hawaii, and that's just been approved. Let's do another request because I want to see if Sarah's worked. So let's do it as Sarah. New request, Sarah Johnson. Let's say she's going on maternity leave. Let's say she's going, I don't know, on the 3rd of September, and she's gonna take, let's scroll down. I don't know, let's just say a few months. Having a baby. Great, submit a request. So, brilliant. You can see at the bottom here on the main dashboard for HR that Sarah Johnson has put in a request for maternity. It's pending. I'm going to approve this now, and then we're going to head over to Sarah's page, and brilliant. Total approved days, 91 days, that's gone up. There's a number of things that you can do here. You can make sure her manager, so John Smith, gets pinged. Actually, let's just do that. I want managers to be able to approve leave in real time, but the main HR dashboard still needs to be updated too. Maybe we can update the employee, maybe we can update the profiles of managers with tasks that they need to complete. I.E. approve a holiday request. All right, let's do that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it says it's implemented a comprehensive real-time leave approval system for managers, manager profiles. Okay, so again, let's give this a go. Let's jump into leave requests. Again, let's just do it for Sarah Johnson. She is, going on personal leave, and she is going next week for a couple of days. Let's submit that request. Now, I think Sarah's manager was, let's click onto her profile. You can see, great, that's pending her personal leave. Her manager is John Smith. I think what we'll need to do is hyperlink John Smith so it's easy for usability. All right, so we had a little bit of back and forth. It said that it fixed it, but it didn't. And I basically said, look, what I want you to do is actually add a task for the manager and also specify the leave request history for his entire team, and also state the name of the employee who made the request, because it wasn't doing that. Okay, so I've had a bit of back and forth with Lovable because it wasn't doing the things that I wanted it to do. And I suppose as a HR specialist, I know what this system really needs to do because of the things that I know that will make my life a lot easier. And also managers as well. So anyway, I submitted another request for Sarah Johnson here for 2 days. And I'm going to go over to employees. I'm going to go over to her manager's profile. What I asked for is for manager tasks to be added to his dashboard, and then he can approve and deny. So this is fantastic, but of course you'll have to set it up so there's notifications that he's going to get pinged for. But hopefully, if I approve this leave, okay, so that didn't work yet. What we want it to do is we want it to approve the leave request history. I'm just going to very quickly do that. Okay, I've just submitted another request. Okay, so I've just submitted another request. Let's press approve. Still not working. But I think this is a good... Okay, so after a huge amount of going back and forth and me telling Lovable that it still was not working, still not working, it kept telling me it was working and it had fixed the issue, and it hadn't, but it has now fixed it. You can see when I was testing, did loads of these Sarah Johnson holiday requests. You can see it's taken sort of 4 or 5 times. Finally, I go back over to John Smith and you can see that he has approved all of Sarah Johnson's holidays, but this one here, which I've just put through. You can see in his manager dashboard, which I've created, that he's got manager's tasks and he can approve Sarah Johnson's leave request. It's a medium priority apparently, and press approve. Okay, and brilliant! She has been approved and it's been included in his profile. So this is just something that I thought that I could add to a manager's profile that would be helpful for a manager. So I thought I would add this to a manager's dashboard because more often than not, a manager approves a holiday which might be months in advance and then completely forgets about it until the day before they go on holiday, and then they suddenly think, shit, this is going to be a problem for us. We'd forgotten that you were going on leave. And if I go onto Sarah Johnson's profile and scroll down, you can see at the bottom here that that's been approved. Right, I think this is a great segue to talk to you about why we're now going to move over to Cursor AI. Couple of things. One, it is going to probably be a lot cheaper for you, be like $20, although it's going to be free for you if you haven't signed up to Cursor AI before. Lovable is great, but it does have limitations. And not only does it have limitations, but it's also expensive. So I think now to go onto a standard plan, it's like $150 a month. You can see here that I've had to keep going back and forth on countless occasions with Lovable. And I just find that Cursor AI seems to really understand the problems that, are coming up. And then when I speak with it, and actually give it better prompts than say still not working. But even if I gave a better prompt to Lovable.dev, I still think it would have done the same thing. But it seems to be able to have more success with fixing things. Look, there's just so many plus points of using Cursor AI. I think if you asked any developer as well, they would say the same. And now for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm not going to do any more system development because hopefully you've got a good idea now as to how to completely build out a system. But the next thing we need to do is we need to connect the backend, which is Supabase, which if you can see here, this little green thunderbolt, click onto that and we want to connect to Supabase. All right, we need to connect a project. I'm going to go to my organization. So you will need to create a Supabase account before you create a project. Click on create a project. I'm just going to call it simple HR Nexus, a bit random, suggest strong password, use strong password, create new project. Here we have the project. Now I'm going to, for some reason I've noticed that even though we created a project and connected, it doesn't like that. And what I've then done wrong is I have repeatedly asked Lovable to sort it out and try and fix an issue when, for whatever reason, it just didn't connect to project. So let's go to that again. Let's go to simple HR Nexus. Great. And you can see that's now connected. And it is now going to connect the Supabase project in Lovable, and it's saying it looks like you haven't created any tables in your Supabase project yet, which is correct. So things like our employee profiles and user passwords, all of that stuff needs to have tables created for it. So I just want to say, please create the relevant tables. Now, remember that we talked about security in the prompt, and for whatever reason, Lovable didn't create an authentication. So that's your login page, which ordinarily, if you tell it in the prompt to do so, it will create. So you just got to keep your finger on the pulse and remember what you wanted it to build as well. So always keep going back and looking at your original prompt. I'm not going to worry about it too much for now, but just as an FYI. Now you can see it's now creating all of the necessary database tables here. That's all done. Employee table, leave request table, manager task table, onboarding task table. All right, let's apply changes. Perfect, the database tables have been successfully created in your Superbase project. Let's just wait for it to finish loading and then I will check. It should have finished doing what it needed to do. So I'm going to the left-hand side of my project. I'm going to go over to table editor and you can see all of the different tables it's created. And the interesting thing is it actually pulled all the test data across, which is helpful. I'm curious to see, yeah, and it's also done all of the leave requests as well, which is brilliant. Now, the next thing that we need to do is we need to connect to GitHub. So you'll need to create an account in GitHub if you haven't got already. And this is going to make it very easy for us to import our project over into Cursor AI. I'm going to click on Connect Project. I'm going to go to No HR Playbook because that's my GitHub organization. Again, you're going to have to set all of that up. And it says the GitHub repository is now under your account, No HR Playbook. Awesome. Okay, so that's all done. Let's view it on GitHub. And you can see here that it's been successfully imported. Now, if you don't already have a Cursor AI account like myself, you'll want to also sign up, and they also have a pro trial free plan. I am in Cursor. What we want to do is click clone repo, and if we click on this search bar, it's going to give us all of the projects that we have worked on, and in this instance we want to connect Simple HR Nexus, which is the build that we've just created. Next thing you want to do is you want to save this to somewhere on your computer. I'm just going to save it on my desktop. I'm going to go to Cursor Project, and I am just going to create testing. Actually, I'm just going to call it Simple HR Nexus. All right, I'm now going to select as a repository destination, and you can see it's cloning the Git repository. Would you like to open the clone repository? Open, okay. Let's wait for it to load up. Brilliant, so that looks very promising. Next thing we need to do is go to terminal, and we go to new terminal, which brings up, I don't even know what you call this. Well, it's a terminal box, I guess. Let's just click out of that. And you want to type in here, npm install to install our project. Now you can see this random little cursor thing just going out of control. I thought it was crashing on me the first time I've ever used it. So if this is the first time you've ever used it and you're a non-technical person like me, this is what this thing is, okay? So that's just loading. I'm just having a quick look up here. Vulnerabilities, there's 4 that are moderate. I'm not gonna worry about that too much now. Next thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna type in npm run dev and press enter, because what I want it to do is I want it to create a link, which is this localhost 8080, which is going to enable me to preview the build that we already created. The final step, we now need to deploy our HR system so people can actually use it. So you're going to have to create an account in Vercel. Okay, so I already have a project. I want to click on this add new, and I want to click on project, import the Git repository. You would think that you would just type in, what are we called? Simple HR Nexus, but you can see it doesn't come up. Now the reason being is I need to click on adjust GitHub app permissions, and it's because of, I'm just gonna pull my full page up. It's because I've only selected certain repositories. So here you can see Simple HR Nexus Hub, and then we want to save that. And we want to click on import, and I'm gonna just stick Claire's projects. You could create a team as well. You can change the project name if you want. Framework preset stays as Vite, and then just click on deploy. Now this is exciting. We're literally moments away from building and deploying our first HR system together. Okay, deployment completed. You've just deployed a new project, and there we have it. So let's continue to the dashboard. The only thing right now I'd like to change is I want to change the name. But if I click on domain, don't want to add a domain, don't want to buy a domain, because I just want employees to be able to use it. So I'm just going to edit it. I'm just going to change the name of it. So, hey, HRS FinTech Startup. Unfortunately, you can't take off Vercel.app. And there we have it, our very own HR system. All you now need to do is provide your employees with this URL, and they're going to be able to use the HR system. Super exciting. If you've enjoyed this video, I would love it if you could give me a like and subscribe for more, and let me know if you'd like me to build out other systems. See you in the next video.